No? Okay. So let's talk about the assignments that I'm seeing being submitted. If I don't know what the words mean that you're sending to me, then I know that you don't know what it means. Don't Google stuff and give me that answer. That's not going to work for me because I can barely understand what they're saying on Google half the time, and I have a college education. So when you're doing the work, do the work based on what you know. You're in 5th grade. If you give me a 12-letter word that I have to Google to figure out what you're talking about, I know it didn't come from you. It came from Google or Ask.com or something else. Make sure you're using your own words. Make sure you're doing the work, not Google, because I need to see what you know. Remember, the work that you're doing, even if there's no FSA, the work that you're doing, this is how we determine whether or not you're ready for 6th grade. So keep that in mind. And if this is an indication of who's ready for 6th grade, only like 4 people would be ready for 6th grade where all of your work is on the computer. So keep that in mind as you're working. We're not giving you hard work. We're not giving you something that's going to take hours and hours of your time. Literally, it should take at the most every day, even if you just say, I'm only going to work for 1 day on science, put 15 minutes aside for science. If you say, okay, I'm going to do 20 minutes for reading, put 20 minutes aside for reading. We're all stuck in the house. We have nothing better to do. So keep that in mind as you guys are going through the assignments. When one of the concerns with a parent was how to upload stuff onto Canvas. So I'm going to show you when I'm asking you to upload things, what that should look like. All you have to do is take a picture with your with the computer. Take a picture with the computer of the work that you're doing. So if I ask you to graph something on a coordinate plane, you don't have to print graph paper. You can create your own coordinate plane. It doesn't take that much. All you're going to do is, I can do a little notebook paper right here. You're going to take a piece of notebook paper or whatever paper you have at your house. I'm going to model what that looks like. If I use notebook paper, all I'm doing is literally creating a box. That's it. And then you write the numbers along the bottom, write the numbers along the side, and graph the coordinate plane. You're not doing any, this is not anything new. The only difference is the location. So please stop giving sob stories to your parents, because Ms. Rodriguez and I are responding to all of the text, emails, and messages on Class Dojo. It is the exact same thing that we've done in class, where you're taught a lesson and then you go to your exit slip. So keep that in mind as you guys are working. Any questions about anything on Canvas that you do not understand how to do something? Specifically uploading, because I can walk you through uploading at the end of Zoom. So everyone understands, if I'm asking you to complete a chart and it's not on Canvas, like you don't have the paper in front of you, you can draw a chart. Everyone's good? Okay, I see yes, 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 yes. All right, another thing. I grade papers at like 11, 12 o'clock at night, okay? As I'm grading the papers, because I do it on my phone, I can see what you're uploading and what you're doing, and I can see how much time you've spent on everything. So I'm gonna show you what that looks like, because if you took a test that had 20 questions and it took you 3 minutes to do the test, that's a problem. You're not putting forth effort. So Diana, can I use your information? Okay. So I'm going to open Diana so that you can see exactly what it is that we can see when you guys are doing the work, okay? So it's not a I gotcha, it's just so that you can see that we see everything that you guys are doing. So all we do is we go into Canvas, we click on whoever we're looking for. Everyone's name is going to come up. It shows us how much time you spend on certain assignments. It shows us when you log in, and this is for everybody. So it shows us when the last time you did some kind of activity on Canvas. It shows us how much time you're spending on it. And then if we specifically go to your name, let me find Diana. If we go to your name, so I'm going to use her, we can click over here and we can see the details as far as what you're doing on Canvas. So this tells us what you're using and what you're doing. And how much time you're spending on everything and when you access everything. So as you guys are doing the work, and this is the biggest thing, because I feel like a lot of y'all are just hitting submit, hitting submit, hitting submit, and not actually doing the work. You need to do the work. Does everyone understand? And then if you don't understand how to do the work, we've given you our phone numbers. You have access to Class Dojo. I only have 2 people that are not on Class Dojo. Ms. Rodriguez has everyone on Class Dojo, I believe, except for like 1 person. So there's no reason as to why you can't get help if you don't understand something. Everyone understand? Are we clear? Okay, great. So I'm pretty sure you've gotten all of those emails I've been sending out about missing assignments. Somebody asked me, how do they know what assignment they're supposed to complete? If you look in the subject line, and I don't know if you guys know what I'm talking about when I'm saying the subject line, so I'm gonna try to find an email that I sent so that you can see exactly what I'm referring to. But if you look in the subject line of the email, it will tell you what assignment you're supposed to be doing, because a lot of you guys are saying, what are you referring to? And I'm going to use this one. So, all right, so if you look here, this is the subject line. And it's going to say graded assignment Wednesday 4-1 food chain. That's just an example of what you may see if you're given an email, or if I send you an email, Ms. Rodriguez sends you an email saying that something is missing. If we're sending you an email saying an assignment is missing, go to that assignment. Don't go in grades, go into modules, and then go to that specific assignment to complete it. You hitting submit does not mean that you've completed the assignment, because a lot of you guys are submitting the work and there's nothing in there, which means that it's not done. So don't hit submit unless you've actually worked through all of the work. Any questions? Everyone's good?
Does everybody know how, sorry, Ms. Bird, I was working on something else. Does everybody know how to check email on Canvas? Give me a thumbs up if you do. Okay, for those of you that don't, on the left-hand side, there's a bar and it says inbox. And if there's a number there, if it has like inbox and you see like a red 1 or 2, that means that you have an email. Just click on that, okay? That's how you check your email on Canvas. Just making sure. Sorry, Ms. Bird.
No, you're good. Alrighty, the last thing that I'm gonna go over, and then we're gonna try to make this as short as possible because we need a lot of kids to stay behind so that we can catch up on this work. Science next week is going to be a lot of investigations. So I'm gonna send you guys a email on Canvas asking if you have specific things. If you don't have stuff, don't worry about it. I don't want you to go out and buy anything because I'm not going out and buying anything. But use what you have at home and use that thing called imagination. Just think about what they're asking you, okay? Also, you guys are going to start next week with review for math. A lot of us are struggling with multiplication and division. I can see that by looking at the volume test. So we're gonna go back to multiplication and division, and we're gonna work our way through it. So we're gonna start with the 4th grade skills with multiplication and work our way up to 5th grade. So that way next year when you're in 6th grade, you have that foundation. All right, so science today. When you log off of Zoom to do your science, you're gonna do the question of the day. I'm going to show you the video, and then you're going to do the sort. Yesterday, when I was checking the sort for testable and non-testable questions, whew, that was a hot mess. So if you do the assignments in the order that they're listed in Canvas, it shouldn't be that difficult, but just make sure that you're going through and looking at the Nearpods if you need them. And the Nearpods are usually going to help you with the sorts. So keep that in mind. So I'm going to show you the video that's on Canvas right now. And that way you don't have to even go there to do it. We can just watch the video together. It's all about observations versus inferences. Sorry, it's taking forever. I'm sorry. All right.
Systems and societies. Hello, nature lovers, and welcome to another exciting video on environmental systems and societies. This one's all about inferences and observations and how to tell them apart. So let me start by asking you, what do you see here? Do you see an insect? Do you see a shiny object? What's the difference between an inference and an observation? An observation you make with your senses. It's what we touch or smell or taste or see. Sometimes we use instruments to make our senses better, like microscopes or pH meters or rulers or stethoscopes. But when we look at this, what's the first thing that comes in your mind? Do you assume that it's some creature, or do you just see the green and the copper and the kind of ridges on its back and these little black hairy looking things coming off its side? If you see that, that's called an observation. Observations are descriptions. So we're describing this object. We're not even saying it's a creature. We're just saying it's an object. And here's what that object appears to look like or feel like. In contrast, an inference is made with our brain. It takes all of those observations that we made with our senses and it puts it together and we make assumptions about it. We say, hey, this thing's got 6 legs, so it must be an insect. Okay, but that's not always right. Yeah, this has 6 legs, but this is actually a spider. Now, I know you're probably going, whoa, wait a minute. Spiders have 8 legs. And you're absolutely right. Most spiders, all spiders naturally have 8 legs. But sometimes spiders lose legs. They get in accidents or they have a birth defect or something happens. And so our 8-legged spider all of a sudden is a 6-legged spider. But we made an assumption that because it has 6 legs, it's not a spider. But in fact, it is. So we have to focus on observations or inferences. Okay? A scientist doesn't like to use an inference because it's inaccurate. Just because we saw those 6 legs and we said, oh, it must be an insect, we're wrong. Okay, so they want observations. We count or we write down what it looks like or feels like or sounds like, and then later we might work on that as far as making an inference. But to start with, we make observations. So I'm going to ask you to look again at this object, and what do you see as a description? Okay, I'll give you just a second. Matter of fact, you might even want to pause the video and take a look at it and see and write down everything you notice.
All right, so I'm gonna pause the video. You're gonna think about everything that you noticed on this picture. Remember, we're talking about inferences and observations.
Okay, now what I want you to do, now that you've written this down, hopefully, if you haven't, stop and go back and do it, is I want you to bring that list to class tomorrow.
We're gonna discuss it after the video.
Next time we have class. And what I want to do is I want to share our list with each other and see if we wrote down inferences or observations to see how well we get it. Now that you understand the difference between inferences and observations, we can look at the different kinds of observations. Scientists use these very differently in their research, and one really focuses on precision and one is more of a description, I guess. So the two types are qualitative and quantitative. And if you notice, qualitative is quality, sounds like qualities, and quantitative is quantities. So starting with qualitative, these are very subjective. They describe colors, smells, or sounds, and typically we say it like the water's hot, or the tree is tall, or it smells bad. Those are qualitative observations. So the leaf is red, sorry, the garbage really stinks, or the soil is warm in my hands. Those would all be qualitative observations. They're not precise, but they describe something. Quantitative, in contrast, is done by counting or measuring. We almost always use numbers to describe it, okay? So the tree is 31 feet tall, or meters tall, I'm sorry, or that weighs 17 pounds. There are 5 parakeets. You know, the elephant weighs 2.31 tons. The black bear is chasing me at 4.6 meters per second. Okay, that's a fast bear. Now, to put it all together, this dirt we could say it's warm, we could say it's soft, but we could also say it's 17% silica. We could say that it's 27 degrees Celsius. We could say that it has a mass of 15 grams per liter. We could be very precise about it, but also descriptive. So we can use both qualitative and quantitative descriptions to observe the soil. And that's typically what scientists do. They don't just do one or the other. I think maybe the quantitative becomes more precise and what they really record and analyze, but the qualitative helps fill in the gaps. It helps them maybe understand why things are what they are or how they are in comparison to something else. So they're both very important, but you do need to know the difference. I hope this was clear. If it wasn't, please talk to me tomorrow in class or when you see me next. If it was and you're ready, bring your list to class. And otherwise, have a great night. Peace out, homies. Hello, nature.
All right, so let's talk about inferences and observations, because that's what you guys are going to be doing on your assignment today. And on Friday, you have a test, okay? So inferences, Amari. Unmute yourself.
I have forgot mine.
You did what?
I forgot mine.
I'm asking you what an inference is. What does it mean to infer?
You like what he said, like
You need help?
yes.
Okay, Francella has her hand up.
A conclusion.
Okay, when you infer, you draw a conclusion. Sherlyn,
An inference is where you take a guess based on the evidence.
okay. When you take a guess based on the evidence, good job, sweetie. Logan Simmons,
An educated guess.
that's exactly what it is. You make an educated guess about, like Sherlyn said, about the things around you. So you use what's around you to make an educated guess. When we're talking about inferences, remember when we were in class, I always say, make an educated guess. So you're using your knowledge to try to guess or figure out the answer to a problem. So that's an inference. What about observations? Remember, he said there were two different types of observations. One was qualitative and another was quantitative. So qualitative, and he gave the example of quality. And quantitative, he gave the example of quantity, which means a number. So when we're talking about qualitative observations, what would that be, Leah? What is he talking about when he said qualitative observations? I wrote notes. You said you didn't.
I didn't write any notes.
Were you listening and watching a video?
I was.
Okay. So what's an observation?
Like what you're seeing.
Okay, yeah. That's exactly what it is. Observations are what you see. All right. So let's talk about quantitative, quantity. What does the word quantity mean? Logan Flores. Because he said there were two different types of observations, quantitative and qualitative. We can't hear you. I see your lips moving, but I don't know if you're talking. You need help? Logan Flores.
Oh, there we go. Yeah,
First, what did they say observation was? What did Leah say? We need to be paying attention, y'all.
sorry, I was daydreaming.
I can tell. What do you think an observation is?
Something that is around you that's like if you see a bee, you can tell it's flying or something.
Yeah, that's what you see, what you see. Observations are what you can see, what you can tell, right? So my question was, he said that there were two different types of observation. One was qualitative, the other was quantitative. So quantity, when you think of the word quantity, Amelia, what does quantity mean? You have to unmute yourself so we can hear.
How many?
Quantity is how many, yes. Okay, so whenever you're doing a quantitative observation, that's talking about a number. How many do you see in something? What about qualitative, Diana? That's quality. What does quality mean? He gave us three different words that we can use for quality.
Value?
The value would be quantitative. That's what Amelia just told us.
No.
So quantity, would be the value. What about Dee Dee? Qualitative, quality. What is, when we're making an observation and we're looking for qualitative observation, what are we looking for?
When we're making a qualitative observation, wait, let me get the wizard fell. The wizard fell. Okay, so a qualitative observation, stop it. A qualitative observation is how good something is.
Okay. Erasmo, do you agree with Dee Dee? Unmute yourself. Okay, I'm going to assume you need help. So I'm going to go to Brandon. When we're talking about qualitative observations, quality, he's used 3 different words to help us understand what qualitative observations are. Okay, so what you guys are going to do after the Zoom lesson, because obviously the video was not connecting, you're going to go back and watch the video again. And I'm going to open up a graded assignment. And the graded assignment is going to be about observations. Observations are what you see around you, okay? So there are 2 different types of observations. I can look at something and tell a quantity. Quantity means a number. So if I look at myself, I can look and say, oh, okay, I have 10 fingers. That's the quantity. That's a number or value. Qualitative deals with colors, smells, or sounds. So again, using myself in this example, I can look at myself and say, oh, she has on a red dress. That's a color. Oh, a sound. Miss Bird sounds annoyed. That's a qualitative observation. Okay, so your graded assignment today is going to be go back into science. There's a Nearpod with the video attached to it. I thought it would be easier if we just did it together. It obviously was not. So you're going to go back into it, look at the video again, go to the exit slip, which is going to be a graded exit slip all about inferences and observations. You're not doing it now. You're going to do it after the lesson. So I'm going to close it out so that you're not able to do it right now. And then I'll open it up once we're done with the Zoom lessons. And that way you're focused on the lesson today. And then you also have a graded exit slip in math. So we're gonna go on to that right now. So everyone needs to pull up their Canvas course. If you don't have the Canvas course, you can just follow along on the screen. It's gonna be a live Nearpod lesson.
Hang on, I gotta go get my computer.
So I have 3 people logged in. Amelia, Anaya, and Anahi.
The Nearpod's not working for me.
I'm looking at it right now.
This bird.
Math, it's not working. Is that what you're saying?
I can't go on Nearpod.
This isn't working either.
What Nearpod is
Not
it?
working.
The original Nearpod.
The only Nearpod.
I have it.
We don't.
The Nearpod.
Can everyone go on mute? Because I can't hear 20 people at one time.
Nearpod.com, Nearpod. Miss Bird,
Yes,
what Nearpod is it? 415?
we're in math.
We need to take pictures of this.
So only 5 people out of the 30 of you guys can get onto the Nearpod?
Miss Bird, I don't have my computer.
Okay, so if you don't have a computer, you're just watching. But I know there's more than 5 people with a computer right now.
I'm on.
Okay.
Where was that thing you were at in the beginning?
All right, so we're gonna go ahead with the lesson. Today is the graded assignment for math. So as you guys are going through the lesson, the exit slip is going to be similar to what we're doing on the Nearpod. And remember, we're still talking about coordinates on a graph. So keep that in mind. So your whole purpose in doing all of this is to figure out the coordinates on, I'm sorry, not the coordinates, the ordered pairs on a coordinate graph, okay? So as we're going through,
You can get your other paper.
they're asking us, it says Michael and John are creating patterns. Michael uses the rule add 2 and start at 1. And John uses the rule add 2 and starts at 7. So what we're going to do is we're going to complete the chart for John first. If he's using the rule add 2 and start at 7. So let's all, as you're on your Nearpod, you're going to complete the chart for John's pattern where he's adding 2 but starting at 7. And can everyone make sure that they are muted? Erasmo, you're not muted.
What happened?
click on the very first one. Then it's gonna come up and it's gonna have yours and Viva's numbers. Who's still on? Is that you? Yep. So now, click on your iReady
Everyone should be muted.
and now hit reading and then hit my phone.
Oh, my phone. Oh, yeah. Sorry.
Please pay attention.
I'm gonna give you guys about 3 more minutes. Remember, you're only doing John's pattern. Okay, so starting at 7 and adding 2, you're gonna complete the next 5 for John's pattern. If you do not have the Nearpod, you're just sending me John's pattern in the chat.
Right back. That's done.
Okay.
All right, 30 more seconds. Great job, Josie. Great job, Irene. Good job, Lana. Good job, Logan Simmons. All right, so Francella. Francella?
Yeah.
Okay, tell us what John's pattern is going to be. What should his number be? What does he start with?
7.
Okay, what's the next number in his pattern?
The next number is 9.
Okay. What's next?
With people that are as tall as
11.
What's next?
13.
And what's the last number?
15.
Great job. Does everyone understand how Francella got that number? Yes, 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 yes. Okay. Now, so we know John's pattern. So now look at Michael's pattern. And it says, bless you, Michael uses the rule add 2 and he starts at 1. So you're gonna do the exact same thing for Michael's pattern. You're gonna add 2, but start at 1. I'm sorry, I went ahead to the wrong one. Good job, Francella. Lana, we're on Michael. Good job, Sherlyn. Good job, Josie. So remember, we're on Michael's. Good job, Rochelle.
I just did.
Thank
I
you.
don't think you'll understand it.
So remember, we're doing Michael's pattern.
Michael's pattern and John's pattern.
Mute your phone. Make sure your phones are muted. Good job, Leah.
Yeah, she's understanding.
Good job, Anahi.
Finding the pattern. It says
Amelia,
Michael
mute
used-
your phone.
Oh.
Good job, Logan Simmons. All right, Leah. Mute yourself, sweetie. Leah. Okay. Can you tell us what Michael's pattern is? Good job, Stephanie. What do we start with, sweetie?
1,
Okay. What's the next number in his pattern?
3,
What's after 3?
5,
What's the next number?
7,
And the last number?
9.
Okay. So we use Michael's pattern and we also use John's pattern. Now we're going to create ordered pairs. So Michael is going to be our X because he comes first. It's like alphabetical order. And John's going to be our Y. So on your Nearpod, you're going to show me what the ordered pairs are, and I'm going to model. So the first ordered pair that I should see is going to be 1, 7. So show me the next 4 sets of ordered pairs. And notice how I'm writing my ordered pairs. I always have X, comma, Y. So if on your exit slips you're getting things incorrect, it's because you're not putting the ordered pairs in the correct order. Not correct order, I'm sorry. In the parentheses with the comma. So keep that in mind for the exit slip for today. Remember, if you do not have the Nearpod, you're just sending me a message in the private chat. Good job, Sherlyn. Good job, Anahi. Good job, Irene. Good job, Samuel. Good job, Anaya. Good job, Sebastian. So let's go over what the ordered pairs would be. So Anahi, can you unmute yourself? And walk us through the next sets of ordered pairs. Anahi? Okay, Josie, can you do it for her?
Is that a video game?
Oh, my bad. I was on mute. The first access.
Wait, Josie, wait.
Wait.
Mhm. Which is exactly why we said we need to see faces. All right, Josie. I'm gonna show us students and you tell me if you agree with what they have.
I can't see it.
You can't see the screen?
What does, I can't see the screen. Hold on.
Let me find somebody else that may have written a little neater. Can you see that?
Yeah.
Okay. Do you agree with what they have as their ordered pairs and coordinates?
Yeah.
Okay.
I think that's mine.
Oh, even better. All right, so what you see here is what the chart should look like as it's completed. This is exactly what your exit slip is going to look like. So the expectation is you're going to tell me the numbers in Michael's, or whoever the person's name is, in their pattern. You're going to tell me the other person's pattern, and then you're going to tell me the ordered pairs. Once you've done that, you're going to plot the ordered pairs on graph paper. Remember, if you don't have graph paper, take a piece of paper, draw some lines. They don't have to be perfect. You don't need a ruler. Draw some lines, label the x-axis, label the y-axis. Once you've done that, and you've numbered all of the lines on the x-axis and the y-axis, you're going to plot your ordered pairs. And the way that you're going to plot your ordered pairs, remember, Amari, what order do we write our ordered pairs in? Where do I start first? Which axis? I can't hear you, Amari. Anaya, can you help him?
Me.
We start in the x-axis first.
We start with the x-axis and then we go to the y-axis.
Yeah.
So when we're doing our ordered pairs, make sure that you're starting with the x-axis and then you go to the y-axis. So I'm not gonna do the second one that's on Canvas. I feel like at this point, we should be able to complete this ourselves, where it says Michael uses the rule subtract 2 and starts at 12. And then John uses the rule subtract 2 and starts at 12. And you do the exact same thing. You create your X and Y axis. Your exit slip, which is graded on Canvas, it has Charlie using the rule add 2 and starting at 2, and Juan uses the rule multiply by 2 starting at 1. And then Karen uses the rules subtract 2 starting at 14, and Monica uses the rule divide by 2 starting at 16. You're going to write each of the numbers in the patterns and create an X, Y axis. I'm gonna go to the actual exit slip so that you can see what it looks like on Canvas. Can I pass it? Oh. What's today? Wednesday. Oh, I can't even see it. Josie, are you on mute? Sorry, my computer is like going crazy. Keandre, mute your phone, please.
Yes.
Mute your phone, please. We can hear you. All right, so this is what the exit slip will look like. So you're going to complete the charts, create ordered pairs, graph the ordered pairs, and you're going to analyze the graphs and explain how the X coordinate and the Y coordinates are changing. So there is a format, and this is what a lot of people were not doing this week. So using the format, Charlie's pattern, and I'm going to stop really quick so I can mute everyone. All right, so you're going to use the format, Charlie's pattern. So in the box, you're going to type Charlie's pattern. And then you're gonna tell me what the pattern is. And then you're gonna do Juan's pattern. And you're gonna tell me what Juan's pattern are. Then you're gonna write ordered pairs. And you're gonna use the format that is listed on the exit slip. So that's why it says use the following format to receive full credit. So if it's not like this, I'm marking it wrong because I gave you an example and I'm showing you how I expect it to be done. You're gonna do the exact same thing. So then for number 2, it says plot the first ordered pair in Charlie and Juan's pattern. This is a hot spot where you go on the coordinate grid and plot where the first ordered pair is. So when I when I scroll up, whatever this is my first set of ordered pairs. That's what I'm plotting here. Then I go to number 3. I'm gonna plot the second ordered pair in Charlie and Juan's pattern. Go up here, figure out what the second ordered pairs are and plot them. You're gonna do the same thing for all of Charlie and Juan's patterns. Then when you get to number 7, the exact same format. Karen's pattern, tell me what her pattern is. Monica's pattern, we just did the exact same thing. So if Karen uses the rule subtract 2 and she starts at 14, my expectation is that you're gonna start Karen's pattern with 14. You're gonna start Monica's pattern with 16. And then use the rule to figure out what the next numbers are. Then you're going to write the ordered pairs. Do the exact same thing. You're gonna plot the first pair, plot the second pair, and continue. Once you get to the bottom, you're done. That's all you have to do. Any questions on what we're doing? No? Okay. Ms. Rodriguez.
All right, after attendance, we need Didi, Daniel, Diari, Omar, Akisha, Giancarlo, Leah, John, Kevin, Stephanie, Francella, Rochelle, and Erasmo. Please do not go anywhere. I want to remind everybody, you need to log in at 11. When you log in at 11, you should be ready to learn. You shouldn't be all cuddled up in your bed. You shouldn't be walking around. You shouldn't be eating. You shouldn't be playing. You should find a spot that is nice and quiet. You should have a paper and pencil in hand, ready to learn. You shouldn't just